isn't it? I think it is.
Yeah.
Where is it at?
Wait, Encanto should be on here. I hope it is.
Yeah, I mean, we may have to add that.
Yeah, it is. It's
Okay,
on the top
good.
row. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yes, as we could see by this tier list right here, it's more based on possibility and likelihood on this tier list right here. But we're also going to be discussing whether or not we would like to see a world of this variety in Kingdom Hearts 4. That's something we'll also try to insert our opinions on as well. And you're also free to type down in the chat what you guys think. Love to see what you guys have to say about all this. And yeah, I think this is going to be a fun discussion because we're going to kind of cover two different lanes here.
Yeah. I'm also ready to go whenever you are. Ready to get into the ranking to start
all right.
off.
So you said you wanted to kind of go from the bottom up. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think I'm chill with
because I know there's for sure some worlds on this list right here that definitely will not be in Kingdom Hearts 4. This is a very Disney focused list. This is focusing specifically on the Disney worlds. We can have also another discussion about the original Kingdom Hearts world.
I meant bottom to the top, as in like bottom of like the Disney worlds.
Oh.
I don't even know. Me and Matt haven't had this full on discussion yet, so I don't even know if we agree yet on what's like top. All right, so
we're figuring this shit out, guys.
I'm gonna get it started. So also hi to everyone in my chat. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well, living life, breathing air. You know, hope you guys tell me if the audio is good. Tell me if Matt's good. I know Matt should be good. If he's not good, I don't believe you. Hold on.
All right.
Make sure everyone's on track one. Yeah, everyone's on track one. So
we got some reactions in the chat. Keep it going.
Look, all right. I want to start with let's start with Star Wars over Marvel. Actually.
Yep.
Star Wars.
Star
Wars.
So
we have on this list. We have pretty much guaranteed, very likely, somewhat likely, small chance, maybe as a summon, no chance. I did not make all of these different tiers, but I actually think. I actually like this tier. Like I like these tiers quite a bit.
Shout out to Alex Noah 89 for making the tier list here. These are the template that we're using here.
Oh heck yeah! Shout out to them. I want to put pretty much guaranteed with all my heart because of that KH4 trailer, and I will because I think they're throwing if they're not putting Star Wars in. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, let me get this more adjusted. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in pretty much guaranteed. Because that. You'd have to be a very you'd have to deny it so hard to not see that as like an ATST Walker foot like that. There's no way you could really other interpret. I know it's a blurry kind of image that they show there, and it's hard to really make out exactly what it is. But come on, I mean, they were even shocked that it was in the trailer. Like Nomura said afterwards, like, "Oh, I was not aware that this was in the trailer. I'll look at this later." So he was just kind of like, I don't know if they're supposed to show that. So I think it's pretty much guaranteed. And you know, just outside of it being pretty much guaranteed, it has to be there. Like, there's so much stuff that entrenched in the Kingdom Hearts DNA and the lore of the series at this point. Like, so much is influenced from Star Wars. And we had this whole discussion in like for 40 minutes about it in one of John's preview streams a few days ago. But it's absolutely baked into, and it would just be such a full circle moment for them to actually put it in there. So if they don't do it, they would be very dumb in my opinion.
Yeah. So like, comments said I don't think we should put anything in pretty much guaranteed, and you know. I do agree with you. So pretty much guaranteed is like, let's just call it for this video, for this stream, an exaggeratory way of saying like most likely, right? We have very likely, pretty much. I did think about removing pretty much guaranteed, but there are worlds that if I'm going to be stern on for like the content that I do think are like, I would be a little surprised if this world isn't in. And Star Wars is one of those worlds where it's okay to me as a Star Wars fan, it sounds too good to be true, but at the same time that like that's the AT-AT foot, like 100% ATST foot.
Exactly. Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I don't know all the droid like stuff like right off the top of my head. I'm into the lore, but I don't know if I'm mistaken the exact foot. I've been correct on that before. Anyways, even after KH3, I vividly remember this. In a lot of the interviews after Kingdom Hearts 3 released, a lot of the questions to Nomura were about if we'll ever get Star Wars or Marvel in Kingdom Hearts. Like, he got asked that a lot. Back in the day, it was Pixar. They always asked Nomura, will we get Pixar in Kingdom Hearts? Like, when will that happen? Because, I mean, Pixar had been owned by Disney for a while at that point, but it just never, I guess because it was still kind of like, on the grand scheme of things, recent-ish. I don't know how you want to interpret that. They haven't put in Kingdom Hearts yet. Star Wars, Marvel, only joined the Disney universe, I think, like early 2010s. So, like, as far as Kingdom Hearts 3 development goes, like, it happened not too long, like, before KH3, like, started development. I think because of how much Nomura got asked about Star Wars and, I won't say Star Wars for Star Wars, but and a little bit of Marvel, I think one of those things is very likely in the future. Because he has to be aware of that.
Yeah, and there's so many possibilities that they could do with it. We were also talking about, like, if they do the prequel era, then that would be a big wasted opportunity because of we both share the opinion that the prequel era is kind of a waste of time and we don't like it. And it was on Endor. Say again?
Or you mean sequel era?
Sequel era. I mean sequel. Sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
Sequel
I meant to say sequel era.
That was my eyes.
No,
like,
okay, wait. You're about to. He was about to fight me.
I was like,
oh my god.
I love prequel era, so I
love prequel era too.
Yeah.
Don't. I'm sorry. My wires got crossed. Sequel era. Sequel era. Okay. But they did show he was on Endor. At Endor, I think it's correct. And that is with the ATST walker there. It's like pretty much showing that, like, around the time of Return of the Jedi and stuff like that. So if they did something like that for Star Wars world, that would be freaking nuts, man. And even in the prequel era, going back to prequel era, doubling down on my defense of the prequel era to not misinterpret what I'm saying. Prequel era Star Wars would be even crazier because of just the amount of stuff that is in that era. They could go crazy with it, and with the Unreal Engine 5 graphics, bro, that would be insane. So many cool opportunities, such a full circle moment. I say it's pretty much guaranteed from that trailer, but there's just so much stuff they could do with it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, there's a lot they could do with Star Wars. We have a Darth Vader boss fight that I think would be absolutely insane. Like, that, me and Matt were talking about how that would be one of the biggest, like, fights in Kingdom Hearts. Like, you know, Darth Vader is so popular. A lot of people were even saying that if we don't get a Star Wars world, they would love to just have, like, Darth Vader as a secret boss this period. Like,
exactly.
In the Kingdom Hearts game. Like, if people are putting him up there in that tier, I think that, like, absolutely says a lot. Like, you don't hear people saying, oh, I want a Maui secret boss. Like, no. Like, that's obviously a Disney World boss. But Darth Vader has that aura. He has that just, like, essence. Like, okay.
Like Sephiroth.
Yeah. Like Star Wars and Kingdom Hearts, some people who aren't into Star Wars do not realize how big Star Wars is, even after, like, all the stuff Disney did to it. Star Wars would be the biggest world Kingdom Hearts has ever done by a pretty large margin, I'd say.
Oh my god.
Like, so would you agree? Okay, I actually have a question. What do you think Kingdom Hearts 3's flagship world was?
Kingdom Hearts 3's flagship world, probably to the general public, Frozen. That's how I kind of see it. They also put a lot of love into the Toy Story world, Toy Box. That was probably that was my favorite world in Kingdom Hearts 3, by the way. If you didn't catch the last stream,
Frozen is pretty massive. I think Star Wars is bigger than Frozen. Probably.
Definitely.
Maybe
it's
yeah.
Maybe Pokemon is bigger.
Star Wars has Star Wars goes beyond like certain generations. Like Star Wars is like just all ages completely.
Yes. Pat Tuco says Boba Fett, Darth Vader, and Palpatine as bosses. That would go sick, man. Just thinking about it. And you know, like you said, the most popular boss they would ever do, 10 million views on YouTube within the first month, man. That shit would
I ain't
go
gonna lie.
and say,
I'm gonna have to make a list of things I just need to upload like raw. So, cause like if I get a KH4 only copy somehow, Darth Vader getting uploaded, bro.
just a straight boss battle.
You know that that's gonna go like it's gonna be like those Lion King and Frozen videos. That's gonna be
yes,
the
exactly.
New, like those.
Yeah, if you didn't know, guys, the most viewed video about Kingdom Hearts is on YouTube is a Lion King video, which is crazy.
Now.
Oh, it's Frozen now?
Now it's Frozen. Frozen's overtaken. I just learned.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The Disney aspect is what draws the non-hardcore people in. I think a lot of people forget that sometimes. But this would be a super big draw itself to Star Wars. So
people would buy this just for Star Wars, and like I think like it's different. It wouldn't just be like kids who like it wouldn't be kids whose parents got them Kingdom Hearts for Christmas. I think like you got like 30, 40-year-old hardcore Star Wars fans who would buy this like this for Star Wars.
Yeah. To keep us on track for talking about other wars, maybe we need to stop that here. Maybe we should do a separate stream just specifically yapping about Star Wars and Kingdom Hearts. That would be something.
But I was gonna say move on to Marvel.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Sorry. So next up on this list is Marvel. So for me, I would say it's somewhat likely. I wouldn't say it's very likely. I'd say it's somewhat likely. Because that there would be a lot of different ways they could do that as well. There's the MCU, there's the comic book universes, there's the individual movies. They have a lot of different stuff to do with that as well. I think that having a Marvel world would be cool. Specifically like a Thor world where you could have like Sora wielding the Keyblade like a Mjolnir hammer or something like that, just swinging that around. That would be very, very fun. And also with like Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time, and just to have him see Sora swinging around to like Quadratum or something with Spider-Man, ooh, that'd be good. But Marvel being such a big IP and the actors, if you did not know, Square Enix made the Marvel Avengers game that came out like 5 years ago. That always online kind of game that I think shut down like a year ago.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest criticisms of that game was that they clearly wanted to use the MCU for that game. But they ended up going with cheap lookalikes instead. And it was very distracting and very off-putting for people. It's like, oh, this is not right. I don't like this. So that might be difficult for them to achieve, because a lot of people would want to see MCU stuff in there, but it might be logistically hard to do. So that's why. But I still think they could do it just with the comic book based stuff, and that's why I say somewhat likely.
I agree. I think I'm gonna put Marvel in very likely. I'm not sure it's like pretty much guaranteed, but I do think I think, as I was saying earlier about like the flagship thing, I think it's Toy Box for KH3, by the way, and I think Star Wars would be the flagship world for KH4. I kind of feel like if they had Marvel and Star Wars, both would end up being the flagship worlds for KH4, probably over any other Disney product. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think Marvel's as likely as Star Wars, but I don't really have a good argument for why not. I just feel like Star Wars might be a little more likely. And if we do get something like Marvel, like more Marvel focused, especially with Sony like kind of having more input on things like Spider-Man, for example, because if Kingdom Hearts is going multi-plat, that means I don't think they'd care ultimately. Like if Spider-Man was on like other stuff, but like I don't know. You never know. You really just never know. Exactly. Like you never know if Sony's going to be like, "Hey, we own Spider-Man, so how about you guys How about you guys make a Spider-Man world exclusive to PlayStation? That would be funny. Bad funny,
apparently,
but that would be funny.
Apparently, there's a Sora mod for the Sony Spider-Man game to put Sora in there. That's crazy. And also, someone else in my chat says that Marvel is bigger than Star Wars, which I don't know about that.
Nowadays,
Star Wars
nowadays
is older.
probably. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I would actually put it over Star Wars. Like at the box office, yeah, I would.
Yeah. In just in terms of content in general, I think that Marvel has at least a bigger push for their content than Star Wars does.
Because Marvel's been around just as long. I think Marvel has a say in that. Yeah, I'd say Marvel's a little more popular, especially over the past 10 years. Now, if we're talking like like before the big MCU blow up, I think it would have been a lot more debatable. But that recently, yeah.
I think I remember seeing that like fake screenshot with like Captain America back in the day for Kingdom Hearts 3. Do you remember those screenshots?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Those fake KH4 world screenshots. Yeah, the Source
classic.
Filmmaker stuff.
That was classic. Also, I remember is that one the PS3 box art and Sora and Kyrie kissing in their Keyblade armor outfits. Those are the things that stuck out to me.
Yep. Yo, Angela in the chat says, "Hello, Prodigy. Do you and your friend think Keanu Reeves would play a great Darth Revan from Knights of the Old Republic?"
Very specific question, so I can't answer that.
I would be interested to see Keanu Reeves in a Star Wars role, to be honest. Especially
anything Star Wars.
That'd be cool.
If he was to play like a stoic kind of old Jedi figure or something like that, I think that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see. I think Keanu Reeves could definitely fit the vibe of Star Wars like very, very well. What's good, y'all? If Marvel, then I want Spider-Man swinging around Quadrum. Heck yeah, 13th Nobody. All right, so you said Spider-Man for Marvel. Yeah, I agree. I think you either go. These are the only two options for a Marvel world. You either go Spider-Man or Avengers. No one else. Like it has to be Spider-Man or just the Avengers as a whole.
Yeah, Thor is just more of a want for me. Because of just the gameplay of Kingdom Hearts and how cool it would just fit in there. But it would definitely, if they want to make the biggest impact and the biggest marketing push, that would definitely be the two. Bro, imagine they put like a Spider-Verse world in there, man. That would be crazy. It would never happen because of the whole Sony thing, but just imagine.
That would be crazy. So I'm trying to think, what world would Square Enix actually go for? I feel like, okay, I actually don't know what Nomura's taste is in Star Wars, and I actually, or not Star Wars, in Marvel. I feel like Nomura's probably more of a DC fan than a Marvel fan, if I had to guess.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie. I only say that because of the Batman thing he did, but he strikes me as someone who might be more of a DC guy, low key. But who knows? I think he jumped at the opportunity to do comic book stuff in general. Like I think Nomura just generally likes pop culture stuff from the stuff I've read.
If Tetsuya Nomura ever made like a Batman game, that would be that will never happen, but that would be absolutely insane. As like a more kind of in the line of like the Arkham games, but add a little bit more of heart style, RPG elements and like with spells and leveling up and partners and stuff like that. That would be cool. But I think that it's somewhat likely because of just some things in the way, but maybe Disney will help them out with that because they're working directly with them and they can work something out like that. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't really do it when they were doing the Marvel's Avengers game anyways, but they can figure something out. I don't know. But yeah, you say I say somewhat likely, you say very likely.
I actually changed it to somewhat likely.
Oh, okay. Hi Mew Star, how you doing, man? Apparently the Batman figure he designed was based on an original Batman game Square Enix was making but got canceled. I did not know about that. MCU movies bring billions, especially the new Avengers, Doomsday, the Secret Wars. With all these movies released, everyone will ask for a Marvel world. I think it would definitely be a hit across generations, I think. Because that's a very cross generations thing.
I also personally think for a Marvel world, actually, that I know everyone jumps to MCU, especially because I've been a Marvel fan forever, and not just like, oh, I knew who Spider-Man, Thor, and them. Like I actually like read and like had comic books growing up, and like I also played a lot of the older Marvel games and whatnot.
Yeah.
I've been a big comic book superhero fan for a long time. So the boom of the MCU was like validating for me. It did get a little annoying at one point, though. I mean, they definitely kind of ruined film for a decent period.
Mhm.
As in superhero films were just being spammed. What I'm trying to say is the MCU, I don't think would be the go-to interpretation because, to be honest, the MCU is not. The comics have slowly started adapting more like things that the MCU did, because the MCU is kind of its own interpretation of Marvel. I think that Kingdom Hearts, the smart route would be to do its own interpretation for longevity instead of trying to adapt whatever Endgame or Infinity War did, even though that would be really cool, right? It's a lot like better and like easier to like you have a lot of freedom if you just make your own like universe of Marvel in Kingdom Hearts. Like I think that would be
Yeah.
like perfectly fine.
Hmm.
You could obviously reference some comics and little tidbits here and there. There's like like hundreds of material to like choose from, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's my take. So moving down the
Um.
list a little bit, we got
Yep.
Pirates of the Caribbean next. Um,
So
I would like Jack Sparrow to be a summon, but I actually think this movie has no chance in the future KH game, and it's because if they
you
did
really.
another movie, it will be bad. It had to be part 4 or 5. I don't want to see part 4 or 5.
That is
So
true. That is true because they did all the good stories in that. But I mean, they brought it back. It seems like they had some big ideas for Port Royal or Caribbean, whatever the hell it's called now. In Kingdom Hearts 3. That's actually it's not one of my favorite worlds personally. It's not like up the top or anything like that, but it's still a world that I really do like and enjoy. And I think it's like maybe small chance, maybe because again we're going into the live action stuff, so maybe they'll start pulling a little bit more from that. They did pull from that originally. That's the only live action thing they really did in Kingdom Hearts up until now. So I would say small chance that it comes back because again you said they went through all of the good stories and they did everything with that, but there's small chance in my opinion.
uh, I don't know. I feel like if they do a Pirates World, the only way I personally as a fan would like to see that world is if they do my brain is if they do an original story, and even then I don't even know if I care as much for that because they kind of cut to me, right? I love the Pirates franchise. I think it's one of the greatest movie franchises of all time, specifically the
Yeah.
first three. Um, those first three movies, one of the best trilogies ever made. But I don't know. I just feel like maybe
I'll
they
bring
could
it
do
down to
something with the
summon.
fourth. They maybe they could do something with the fourth. But I just don't think I'd be as like because the fourth movie also has a big time skip, like a big time skip. Um, I just don't know if I'd be like crazy about it. You know?
I remember I saw the fourth movie at a drive-in theater when I was like 12 years old, so I barely remember anything from it, but I don't remember leaving much of an impression. I brought it down to maybe it's a sum because also someone brought up the whole Johnny Depp situation and like they maybe didn't want to touch that thing. Because they're making is it a sixth one they're making or is it a fifth one, seventh?
They're making a 6.
Okay. And it doesn't have Johnny Depp, right?
I don't think so. I don't know
Oh,
if they're
there you
still
go.
making it. I've stopped following it because I think Pirates just 1 through 3. I like those first 3 movies. I'm gonna leave it at
Um,
that.
Someone says that hopefully we'll get to visit the Final Fantasy worlds. I would hope to get to that too. This list focuses mostly on Disney stuff, so that's what we're kind of discussing here. I maybe near the end or interject in somewhere we can talk about that. But uh, I guess I'll bring it down to no chance. It's just thinking about it more. And for Sora specifically, I know that we brought up Johnny Depp for Sora, Haley Joel Osment. Sora, he's too iconic as Sora. They can't do that. It's something he was apologetic for it, and it seemed like he was genuine about it. So I think they'll take that. Plus, he's a voice actor, so it's not something where he's the biggest public facing thing in out there. You know, he is the face of Sora in the real world, but for voice actors, it's kind of a different thing. So just clearing that up real quick. Next up, Princess and the Frog. It'd be interesting if they did this, but I don't see it happening. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe as a summon?
I'm gonna put it in somewhat likely, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think any princess movie has a higher chance because of the Princesses of Heart. There's still 3 left.
That's true as well, yeah. So I'll get a small chance for that reason. Now that you brought that up, I think Princess of the Frog is an underrated movie. I think most people have really look, because it was the last 2D movie they did before they shut that division down.
Yeah. Last 2D movie in an era that was already 3D.
Yep, exactly. So people look back on it very nostalgically for that reason, and it's a good movie as well too. It's good on its own outside of it just being a more pure, I guess, animated movie than some of these other stuff they were doing at the time. But I mean, if they had like a summon for one of the frog characters, the prince character is a frog, or like the villain guy, or dude, that dude as a boss would actually be kind of crazy with all of his psychedelic stuff going on. That would be actually really cool. That would be a very interesting visual wise boss battle.
My only fear for a Princess and the Frog world is I'm afraid I'm gonna have to play as a frog. You guys know a lot of worlds aside from Atlantica, a lot of the worlds are have to change into something else. I'm not crazy about Pride Lands in KH2. I don't want a Cars world in KH4 because I don't want to play as Cars Sora, which we'll get to later. I don't want. Bro, I don't want to play as a frog with the keyblade in my mouth, bro. Now, maybe Frog Sora would go hard. Maybe he would. But I don't know, man. Yo, chat, be real with me. Are y'all vibing with Frog Sora? Yes or no? Like,
you put that image in my head, and now I don't want it anymore.
See, you didn't even think about that, did you? You thought you're thinking we're about to have a regular world in New Orleans.
No, I was just thinking. My original thing was just like, oh, it'll be a summon because I just didn't think it was likely. But now that we're thinking about it world-wise, that's just.
Yeah, like most of the
you thought Lion Sora was
they're
weird.
A frog.
We had is Tron on this list anywhere? I don't see Tron on here.
I do have to complete this point about Princess and the Frog though. Look, chat. One thing though. Okay, so you guys are saying L to Frog Sora, no to Frog Sora. Look. I don't want him to be because okay, if we have Frog Sora, what that means is it's going to be a way harder world to even make because
it would.
Yeah, like they're going to have to do a lot like for that world because they're going to have to make if they decide to do form changes in that world, they're going to have to do form changes into Frog Sora. They're going to have to build mechanics for Frog Sora. They're going to have to do a lot of stuff for him, right? But mainly, right? The main reason I still am an advocate for this world is because I want Princess and the Frog to be in Kingdom Hearts just as like to check that off the box list. Because I think Tiana would be a cool Princess of Heart. And 2, I have been a big advocate for more jazz like renditions and inspiration in Kingdom Hearts music. Kingdom Hearts has a more like orchestrated approach to a soundtrack, which I love, big fan of. Obviously, KH soundtrack, best soundtrack like ever in games for me, right? Clear bias. But we got we have very few like jazzy songs in Kingdom Hearts, and what we have from jazzy vibes is Traverse Town. You see how good Traverse Town like main theme is in Kingdom Hearts 1.
I just made a post today saying that I missed that world so much.
It's so good. I think Yoko could kill it with like a New Orleans like jazz inspired sound, bro. That the soundtrack alone.
Let her cook.
Let her cook.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We got Brisk Apollo in the chat. What's up, Brisk? I haven't seen you in a while. I gotta imagine he should. Say again?
I said, yo, we got Kingdom Hearts TikTok in the stream. Let's go. What's
Hey,
up,
yo, the TikTok people are coming through. I gotta imagine he should control like normal, but have frog features like big jumps because they don't walk on two legs as frogs in that movie. Maybe it would be. I guess that's a way they could get around it. Just kind of mixing the two together. Let's see if there's anything else in the chat. They will likely add jazz in Star Wars. You mean jizz?
Jazz in Star. What? Wait, whoa! What did it say? Huh?
You know that Star Wars jazz is called jizz, right? Did you know that?
Okay, look, I know I'm being exposed to that. Look, I like the theory talk about Star Wars. I don't be caring about. Okay, what they're telling me right now, you know, like in Book of Boba Fett, where like they technically blow up that building and technically like that guy should be dead now from A New Hope, like that last guy. Okay, look, out of context, I'm just hearing, you know, like, oh, jizz music. I'm like, what? What is he saying, bro? What are you talking about?
He was the one who left the comment, not me. He baited me into it. Good old Amuse Star. I bet there will be a live action Disney movie in this game. I'm pretty sure there will be at least one. So what? I vaguely remember there being like a rumor of a live action Princess and the Frog, but I don't think they were ever going to do that.
I think they're going to do a live action of every single Disney movie eventually.
But I thought they stopped after Snow White bombed.
No, they just made Lilo and Stitch.
But that was in the same time in production.
And
that.
Lilo
like
and Stitch,
future
if it hasn't already, Lilo and Stitch is like close to $1 billion in the box office. They're not quitting that.
I guess it's just a bigger property.
Yeah,
maybe they've run out of the big properties. Like, would Hercules be as big as that? No. Frozen, if they made a live action Frozen, the Avengers Endgame might be fucked for
people don't understand, but like Frozen is actually like one of the, look, I know you guys hate how popular it is, and you guys, don't get me wrong, I have okay, Frozen fans, like Frozen like shills are some of the most annoying Disney fans on the planet. I would say I'm a Disney like animation fan, Disney animation and Pixar fan. Frozen fans, the Frozen fandom is definitely one of the most like weird, annoying. They're like the Sonic fandom, but like they're like what the Sonic fandom is to gaming a little bit. Like no offense to the Sonic fandom. I have friends in the Sonic community, but I'm just saying, bro. Some of them are weird, bro. Some of them are kind of weird. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. They're a little weird. I'm not gonna look. I never thought I'd see a Elsa and Spider-Man ship in my life. I'm sorry to bring that memory back to people, but don't ever see anything like that again.
Wasn't there supposed to be a live action Moana in the works? Yes. Is this supposed to come out like next year or this year? What is that coming out this year or next year?
I think it. I'm unsure. I think it might be close to the end of this. I know they are filming it.
Mm-hmm.
I know because I'm a big wrestling guy, so I do follow like The Rock like quite a bit for stuff.
I do remember. I think I saw all the leaked set pictures, and The Rock was looking weird.
Since we talked about Frozen, let's get this in here. All right, Frozen. Okay. I think Frozen 2's. You know what? I almost want to say pretty much guaranteed. If it wasn't for how like criticized the Frozen 1 movie was, this is a 50-50. I still think the movie is extremely likely for Kingdom Hearts, but the only reason I don't put it in guaranteed is because Nomura, for all the like crap people give Nomura about some stuff, he does try his best to listen to fans. He really does. Like Nomura, he does see the criticism. He balances it with what like other people want. So I think it's very likely that Disney might ask them to put Frozen in. Also, Frozen might just be like, no matter how much hate Frozen got, Frozen definitely sold more copies for KH3, like 1,000%. So like, exactly. I think Frozen is a net positive. We're going to use that. We're going to bring that word back. Frozen is definitely a net positive for the Kingdom Hearts franchise in terms of like sales. And I also think Frozen 2 is a better movie, so I would actually like to see Frozen. I think Frozen is a good enough movie that it deserves a chance at redemption. W or L in the chat for that.
I think I definitely agree with that. Arendelle in Kingdom Hearts 3, I think I put it in like C tier. I didn't like that world. I think the designs were cool on their own, but everything kind of looked samey. The story was kind of told in a odd way, like you know, what's the main bad guy's name? Hans, I think. He didn't speak any words during the whole thing, and then you just go through this wolf boss fight. It was just kind of weird. The boss fight was cool, but it could have been done better. And I don't think I have seen Frozen 2 fully yet. I've seen some clips from it, and know how it kind of goes. But everyone else says it's like an amazing improvement. So if they did Frozen 2, I think a world like that would be kind of awesome. And second,
Matt, I know you're not a Disney guy, but we should watch Frozen 2 because the reason I praise Frozen so much, I know I sound like I sound like a 5-year-old like praising Frozen, like Frozen's so good, Frozen. Look, I get it, I know, but yeah. Frozen actually is really good. Okay, like Frozen compared to other Disney films actually has like a really interesting story and lore, especially in Frozen 2. Basically, Matt, it dives like full into its lore. Like it dives into like the secrets behind Elsa's powers and a lot of stuff. Like it's how to describe it? They have a goal. It's way more than just Disney musical. Like it's actually has a really good story.
Let me read some in the chat here. I think Frozen 2 is a good chance if it ends up being a world that Kairi gets to go to. I feel like she could learn a lot from both Anna and Elsa. That would be cool to see. They're doing a live action Tangled and Moana and Frozen 3 and 4 are coming as well. I think I heard about Frozen 3 that maybe coming around the same time as Kingdom Hearts 4 as well. That's something else we got to consider is just the release date timing of all that stuff. And how cool it would be to coincide with that. Someone says, as a Sonic fan, they do not take offense to your Frozen fan comparison, so you're good, John. Thank you. I support the theory that Arendelle was gutted and we got what we got in Kingdom Hearts 3, like Larkstein's Labyrinth looking a lot like the inside of Elsa's castle. Yeah. I don't know if it was gutted. I think they put everything they wanted to put in there. It's just I don't know. It's just maybe they could have done it a little bit better. That's all.
I think the game theory thing. I think that obviously, like, look, a lot of respect to MatPat, of course, but, like, I think the game theory thing, like, people took that theory as, like, I jive with this. This is my coping mechanism for why Frozen sucked. Believe it or not, Square actually does have, like, a decent bit of decision-making behind worlds. Like, a Disney World having restrictions is not new to Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 2 and 1 Disney Worlds had, like, guidelines and restrictions behind them because at the end of the day they're dealing with properties that they do not own. You know what I mean? Now you could argue that, of course, but that's just like the legitimate business side of it. But now do I think Frozen was definitely like gutted a little bit? I don't know if I'd say gutted, but like my personal thought is I think there's one thing they should have done with Frozen, maybe two things that would have fixed the world entirely. If Arendelle was a visitable place, that would have been like perfect. I feel like Nomura, the reason they didn't put that in, Nomura had this weird approach with Kingdom Hearts 3 that I'm like, he didn't really have in like Kingdom Hearts 1. He kind of had this approach in Kingdom Hearts 2 as well, but like I don't know if you noticed this, Matt. Anything that like was quote like like not really like that crazy in the story, he would often like skip over. For example, right? If there wasn't like any fights or any major events going on in that area, he would just skip it over, right? Like to hit like the cliff notes of the movie. So like for example, in Frozen, in Arendelle, realistically, now they could come up with a scenario, in my opinion. So I think they kind of just they might have sandbagged. But they're probably thinking to themselves, there's no immediate fights that need to happen in Arendelle. So let's just skip over Arendelle and like jump right into like the most interesting part of the movie, aka when Elsa's running away, right? They did this with.
I think that's.
Go ahead. I'm talking.
I was just saying. I just think that is. That's just kind of game design. Like focus on the most interesting. I don't think you want to put things in a game where it's just kind of very dialogue heavy, because you have that with the story that's going on for the main
Yeah.
characters anyways. So I don't think you want to put just a whole bunch of dialogue in there for that. And people have been arguing like, oh, the cutscenes are way too long. I think I've seen some people say that, like, they go
They
on for the
overdid
Disney
it for
Worlds.
3, though, I'll admit, like, in terms of that, because I think they compromised, like, world aesthetic a little bit in doing that. I don't know if you'd, like, somewhat agree. Tangled's another example. When we hop into the Tangled world as soon as, like, the main, like as basically as soon as the major part of the movie started. They skipped, like, all the backstory. They did this in KH2 as well. One kind of does this too, but one takes a different approach. Kingdom Hearts 1 creates its own backstory for the world. Like, in the Disney villains being there, Like
That is true.
Like in Agrabah, for example. Before we even meet Aladdin, right? We meet Jasmine in Agrabah. We get interaction with Jafar and, like, him talking about the Keyblade and stuff, right? Before we go back out there. Like, this, I like KH1 took an approach where, like, the Kingdom Hearts made its own backstory, but Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 with its worlds took an approach where, like, let's just skip over, like, most of the dialogue. Let's focus on gameplay for the worlds over, like, the story for the worlds.
Yeah.
Weird.
I think I think they said they skipped over Tarzan's backstory in Kingdom Hearts 1. That is I don't think they need to tell that in Kingdom Hearts 1. But I guess I guess you're mentioning this because you want them to kind of delve into the lore a little bit of Frozen, or are you just kind of saying this as
I'm making the point. Well, I do want them to dive into Frozen lore for KH4 if they do Frozen 2, but I mostly made that point to, like, establish a difference in approach across, like, number tiles. And that person made that point about Tarzan. My point still stands about the backstory thing. They made their own backstory and, like, interesting element to that world. Despite you skipping over, like, the beginning of Tarzan stuff, which you didn't really need for that world. What happened in that world was you go into, like, the gummy ship is, like, malfunctioning. There's, like, a big crash, and, like, you fight freaking you fight an animal, and, like, you fight an animal, you meet Tarzan. You have this, like, cool little cutscene with Kairi. You're separated from Dawn and Goofy for, like, the first time in the game, like, since meeting them. Like, there's like, multiple interesting elements that happen before you even start the world story. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by, like, KH1 worlds took a different approach with, like, basically they melded the original plot into the worlds more. I'm like basically saying they did that. That's all I'm really saying. Yeah, pretty much. We all know why KH1 worlds are good.
Yep. So is that all you want to discuss with Frozen? So I put it in very likely. I'm guessing you put it in this.
I'm doing, like, every other world thing, so if you want to do the next world, go for it.
Yeah. So I was kind of wanting to go back to the Princess of the Frog and doing the form change stuff. Zootopia. I'm just interested, really, I put in, like, maybe a small chance, because that's another popular movie right there that could be interesting to explore, especially where we're in the city setting, and they could do some weird story stuff to justify them going to a version of Zootopia or whatever. I'm just interested to see what Sora would transform into. That would be, like, what, because he was a lion in Kingdom Hearts 2. He would be a frog in Princess and the Frog. What I guess he would be. I guess he'd still be a lion, because they would call back to him being, like, the original lion design of Kingdom Hearts 1 Sora, with a chainsaw and all that. So maybe they could do. Well, the whole point of that movie, though, is the racial allegory and stuff like that. So I guess Sora would be on the opposite end of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do think
that'll be a tough story to sell in Kingdom Hearts.
I do think the world is likely. I said in 2019, I remember vividly saying this on stream, I said Zootopia is how Kingdom Hearts gets canceled because the whole movie is basically yeah, like Matt said, it's about like racial stuff, police brutality, things like that. Like for example, I'm gonna say this, and like some of you guys might not think it's that big of a deal. It might not be. Who knows, right? Like, I think it shouldn't matter. I think people shouldn't, for the most part, shouldn't care because it's a game. But like, I do understand on a larger like scale, making like all the predators like corrupted by Heartless or something. You know,
That would actually be cool.
low key would be a little bit of an
Matt.
issue. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man.
It would, I think somehow to fit the Heartless in there without doing the racial stuff. Maybe that would be okay.
Maybe they don't overthink it. Like, maybe I'm overthinking it though. But like, do you guys see what I'm saying?
Good. I know Zootopia 2 is coming out this year. And I don't know what kind of message they're going for in that film. Zootopia is more of a very likely to somewhat due to the second film coming out. It would really depend on what that movie's about. And the story they're trying to tell there. So maybe if they were trying to go for a more societal commentary in that one as well, maybe it'd be hard to do.
They could just do an original plot for Zootopia 2, though. That's something
I
fail to consider. KH4 did that a lot. It did a lot of original plots, or attempted to, with like Monsters Inc., Toy Box, stuff like that.
Well, Monsters Inc. It was a retelling of the original movie with trying to get Boo back and stuff like that. It's toys.
Kind of, sort of.
Toy Box was basically purely an original thing. Did they do anything else? I mean, San Francisco, that was still following the events of that film.
Nah, San Francisco was original. They brought Baymax back to life.
Oh, was that after the events of the movie?
Yes.
I thought we had to fight I thought we had to fight the evil dude at the end of that.
No, you fight. Okay, the original movie ends with you fighting like a guy who's like doing like some nano chip stuff. I haven't watched Big Hero 6 in a long time, but it is not Big Hero 6. Like, is Big Hero 6 and Kingdom Hearts 3 takes place like after that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And like, they corrupted the original Baymax, who's like gone.
Okay. Maybe I'm just misremembering Kingdom Hearts 3 or something like that. But yeah, if they want to do an original plot, they could go that way as well. It would be very out there in terms of the original plot of the film. And it would be kind of funny that like they're clearly doing this so they don't get canceled. That would just be funny to comment on, but I put it in a small chance. It's a popular enough IP, and there's a lot of interesting aspects to that movie to where they could explore that in the Kingdom Hearts world. But I don't know.
Think it's very
Actually,
likely.
I'll move this. I'll put it as somewhat likely.
I think it's very likely, only because Zootopia is one of the most popular Disney movies over the past like decade. And I do think the only reason, like, if I was to put in somewhat likely, the only reason why would be because maybe they don't want too much overlap with already having a big time city world. Now that'd be the only reason I think they wouldn't do it. Otherwise, I think Zootopia would be like a shoe-in for KH4.
Okay.
Who's me?
Okay.
Well, let's add some more like no chances right quick. So straight up, Soul.
Home on the Range.
Think Soul has a chance.
Oh, you don't think Soul has a chance?
Nope, I don't.
Okay, I said Home on the Range. That has no chance.
Yeah, I agree. Home on the Range has no chance.
Dinosaur has dinosaur movie.
Who freaks asking for a dinosaur world in KH4, bro? Where are you?
I don't think I forget that's even a Disney movie.
The heck are you
like
doing?
90% of the time. This guy is very hopeful for his stuff.
Well, there's someone in your chat that wants a dinosaur world.
Yo, I mean, go you, man. It's not gonna happen, but you can dream. I mean,
Great
dream.
Mouse Detective. I don't know, bro. I don't think I think Bolt actually could be possible as a summon. I would like to see Bolt as a summon personally, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd say he's likely as a summon. I just think he could be a summon.
So, do you want to put that in the maybe as a summon thing?
That's what I did. We don't have to have the exact same list, but
but I would just agree with that as well, because you said like we're switching between topics we pick.
I don't think Luca has a chance either. Actually, I think it's a little.
Okay.
It's not. Okay, Luca technically is in that time window. Like Luca released in like 2021, 2022, right? I'm pretty sure. So like
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty early on. Like I don't even know if KH4 was announced yet when Luca came out, or was like just announced when Luca came out. I know it's a
Yeah.
really good movie. I personally haven't seen it, so that might be why I also feel this way. So I'm not like
I haven't
I
seen
feel
it
like I haven't
either.
seen the movie a lot either. Like I feel like Luca doesn't like generate any buzz or anything for like
I'll put it in the
KH4.
summon because I think the characters in that are kind of interesting. So I'll put
You
that in
think
the
so?
summon
Okay,
category. Yeah.
I respect that.
Um.
Didn't look a flop. I'm pretty
So
sure. Wasn't it
which
straight to Disney Plus?
it was during that era. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is Toy Story 3 in here? I'm
Um.
not even want to put that up
Yeah,
here.
but
This is confusing. Toy Story 3. Well, I guess Toy
uh.
Story returning period. You want to put this as Toy Story
Uh.
returning?
Um. I think that I would like it to return. I think that what they did with it in Kingdom Hearts 3 was fun, and even exploring Sunnyside Daycare would it would be very interesting as well. So I want to put that in like somewhat likely,
That's what I did
because
too.
again, it was like, yeah, I think like you said, it was kind of like the flagship world a little bit for Kingdom Hearts 3, Toy Story, and
I get like New
something that
Olympus vibes with it a little bit.
yeah, because something that was really cool to me about Kingdom Hearts 3, I pointed this out in my last stream, is that all of the Pixar worlds were in my like top worlds for Kingdom Hearts 3 because Pixar had involvement in the creation of those worlds. They gave input and they helped them out in making the worlds and stuff like that. And I think it shows because there's a lot of clear attention to detail. They really get the characters down. They really get the world down. They really delve deep into the intricacies of the world. And I think Pixar low key wanted to use this as a way to kind of explore the world that they couldn't do it in the film. And so they kind of let them have free reign and how they wanted to explore that. And I really want the Pixar worlds to come back for that reason because that is one of the highlights for Kingdom Hearts 3 for me.
I think okay. I think for the next Marvel and Star Wars are a little bit different properties, so we might have a rare instance in Kingdom Hearts 4. We might only have like 2 original Disney properties, like Disney animations, because it's Marvel and
Really?
look, think about it like this: Marvel, Star
Yeah.
Wars. That's 2 worlds already. You have. I personally think you're getting at least like 1 to 2, probably 2 Pixar worlds in every game from now on.
Yeah.
So I think one of them might be Toy Story, and then we might get a new Pixar world, and I want to talk about that after this. So that's 4 worlds,
Yeah.
right? Marvel, Star Wars, 2 Pixar films.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the Disney animation films, and you suddenly your world list is already looking pretty huge. You know what I mean? So we might only have like
Yeah, exactly.
1 or 2 like bit like Disney animation properties, and that makes me curious because if they said Kingdom Hearts 4 is gonna have a smaller world list, it makes me wonder. You know what? I be thinking about the Princess of Hearts element. They might not. They might still drag that plot element out like the rest of this arc. They might only reveal like 1 or something in this saga, in this like new game.
It's a 1 per game or something. Like
yeah,
just
like
drag
until the
it
series
hell out.
ends type stuff. I don't know. Man.
I mean, that would keep the story going long after Nomura retires. That's for sure. I mean, he said he had a long-term plan for Kingdom Hearts, so hey, go for it, man. If Toy Story does return in Kingdom Hearts 4, it could be an original story between the 3rd and 4th Toy Story or after the 4th film. Well, it depends on how they do Toy Story 5 and how the hell Woody got back with them. That's gonna. I'm really interested to see how they justify that. I feel like Onward has pretty low chance of appearing. Let's talk about Onward as well. That's a movie that I also haven't seen either. Yeah.
I don't even dislike that movie.
I guess it's more of I can't really comment on it. Since I've not seen it and nothing really sticks out to me
it's
either.
Boneless Harry Potter.
It is.
Yeah.
So a next one to kind of deep dive into, since we were talking more about Pixar worlds and how they want to do more of that. Brave. I would put Brave in maybe like a small chance. Maybe a small chance.
Brave so bad, but it isn't. It's a small chance. I think. Like it's kind of niche a little bit. Like it's popular.
Yeah.
Okay. People know about Brave, but Merida is probably like I would argue she might be like one, if not the least like popular, like bottom like 2 or 3 like least popular Disney princesses for sure.
Yeah.
She's one of the only she's one of the only Pixar ones, well, before Vanellope at least.
Yeah. Pixar Vanellope
Yeah.
is a oh,
Yeah.
I might be thinking of something else.
Wreck-It
And
Ralph.
does that have like a lot of presence at the parks? Because I don't recall Brave. I don't call Merida kind of cast members being big.
Well,
at the
not a
parks.
lot of presence, but there are Merida cast members. There's like kind of all right, how to put this? So Frozen, Anna, Elsa, there's like big lines for like Anna, Elsa. There's big lines for like a lot of other Disney princesses. Merida sometimes has lines for pictures and stuff if they form, but like a lot of the time the Merida cast members are just kind of walking around. If I'm being honest, there's like, you know what I mean? Like people want pictures with Anna, Elsa, Mickey. Like I remember we went to Disney a couple of years ago. With my family and one of my little cousins, we stood in a 1.5 hour long line in this little like cottage that looked like similar to the Frozen like cottages and stuff, and
yeah,
it was an 1.5 hour line to get a picture with Anna and Elsa. So there's what I'm trying to say is, man, Disney princesses have different auras. Merida's aura is kind of weak. All right.
I got
you. Even though I think personally, thematically, Brave should be in KH4. I thought it was going to be in KH3. Literally, I remember when we first heard the opening lines and like one of those final trailers for Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm thinking you could go back to my reaction in 2018. I'm thinking Brave because Sora's over here talking about fate and changing fate and blah 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 blah, right? And that's literally what Brave is about. Brave is all about fate. Like if you had the chance to change your fate,
if you could change your fate, what'd you do?
Would you? Like,
I remember that one like, Vine.
That like
I'm thinking about getting that one.
Now because it wasn't in 3, I feel like it makes even more sense for 4. I thought that was at the time where I thought 3 was going to be a lot more about fate, but really the ending of 3 was a lot more about fate, and that was like now that's KH4's kind of KH4's plot line. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I guess. Well. We don't know much about the story, but I can definitely see the whole fate thing going on because of the Book of Prophecies and Masters and what he's wanted to do and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's all about changing the timeline and like whatnot. But small chance, unfortunately, small chance. Sorry, I didn't do a poll chat for this one.
Seeing that world in Unreal Engine 5, playing that world, that would be absolutely insane.
I think that would I think it will be one of the best worlds if it got in.
Yeah. I hope they cut the worlds in half like Kingdom Hearts. Dude, you want to do second visits in Kingdom Hearts 4, John? No. Because I know you're a big fan of that.
No, are you making fun of me, Matt? You're making fun of me.
No, Matt, do you like
second visits?
Yeah. Nah. It's the boss fights in them were cool, but yeah.
I think second visits are kind of that's KH2's like filler a little bit, low key in my opinion. But not to say KH2 isn't the GOAT. It's still the GOAT. It's fun filler. It is fun filler for the most part. It is just I'm not a fan of split because when you're splitting these worlds in half, you're splitting the stories in half. And I know some people like are fine with it because if you're someone that doesn't care about like the Disney movies and how they're represented in Kingdom Hearts, which as we get older, more and more KH fans fall into that category, admittedly. You're like, yeah, heck yeah, bro. Second visits. I don't care about these Disney worlds. Cut them in half. Make them shorter, right? Make the first visit shorter. I'm not crazy about that because I feel like because of that, we get half-baked worlds and hallway simulators. Like that. One of my biggest criticisms of 2, it's not like a thing that's bothering me, but because it was PS2 era, it got away with it a lot more. Like hallway simulator worlds is not like I don't know, that's not what I want out of my worlds in modern day. Like, bro, if a Star Wars world was just a hallway, I would crash out. Like,
it's just the Death Star, and you're just walking down the hallways of the Death Star.
Keeping it a buck with you.
There would be no way.
I also don't want an original story for a Star Wars world. I know some people hate, like, they think, I hate them retelling the movies. No, bro, it's not them retelling the movies that's an issue. Like, it's how they retell it that's the issue. It's not retellings themselves are perfectly fine, because you get to experience key moments and key, like, memorable interactions in the movie. I would crash out if I, instead of like a Darth Vader, Darth Maul, Emperor Palpatine boss fight, I fought some freaking heartless Sith Inquisitor. Like, I would die, bro. I'd actually like collapse. Like,
you would send a very strongly worded letter to Square Enix, letting them know how he feels. Bro,
I guess my problem was I'd become the KH hater. People think I might
you would. The true hater will be unleashed at last. My problem with second visits is that most of the important stuff in the story is done in the first visit, and we're just taking up B plots in the second one and dealing with some of the organization stuff and wrapping that stuff up. And I mean, that's important stuff, don't get me wrong, but in terms of the story of the main part of the world, it's just kind of already done most of it in the first visit. So, like,
aside from Zaldin
kind of
and Riku, the second visits don't really do much. Honestly,
that's true.
So most of the second visits, aside from Land of Dragons and Beast Castle, which are the quickest ones, by the way, don't really do much.
They definitely give you, I guess, your money's worth by giving you a little bit extra to do in Kingdom Hearts 2, because playing more Kingdom Hearts 2 isn't a bad thing in of itself. I think that's a good thing, but they could have just done a little bit. Yes, as much as I glaze KH2, all right, I am the KH2 glazer. That's the one thing where they could have done that better. So I think, what world do you want to do next?
I want to do Incredibles, because I think Incredibles is...
Ooh, okay. I'll say somewhat likely.
It's a toss-up, right? Because I said earlier how I think Toy Story is somewhat likely to come back, but I think if Toy Story didn't come back, Incredibles is a shoo-in my opinion. But because like I'm thinking about what's the next biggest Pixar film. Honestly, they probably should have did Incredible. Like I don't think Monsters Inc. should have been the second pick, but I respect it as the second pick. I love Monsters Inc. But I think the next best Pixar movies. They've already done Ratatouille and like the kitchen stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think the next best Pixar movies to do, Incredibles, and I actually don't know what else. Unfortunately, popularity-wise, it'd be Cars, but I don't acknowledge Cars, so...
yeah.
You just Incredibles is one... Chat, do you agree that Incredibles is one of the Pixar movies that is like borderline a shoo-in?
So I guess because you'd have to give him a special power to have him exist in that world too and kind of fit within that universe. I don't know if just having the Keyblade would be enough, because I mean, just to fit with the theme, they could give him like he does have all the powers. He does have that, but I mean, just like one specific one they would focus on as like his superpower. What would it be? Finding Nemo? Oh my god, no.
No.
You want to talk about
that? Look, bro. Look, all the worlds people are like talking about. Y'all want? Look, you're telling me we're gonna get Car Sora, we're gonna get freaking Furry Sora, we're gonna get Frog Sora, all in the same game? No, get out of here, bro.
Fishy Sora.
We only need one.
They want Sora to transform into different animals.
Look, bro. Why are you
going after him for it?
Two's being gracious. One gimmick world max. Honestly, Furry Sora is not that much of a gimmick. It can be normal Sora with like, you know, the web fox design, bunny design, whatever. But
yeah. I love the little mini crash out. You just
bro. Yeah.
I want to.
I want to see Sora in my Kingdom Hearts game. I'm gonna be real.
Well, they've done that already. They need to change it up. They need to change the formula.
They've already done Sora? What were you talking about?
Oh my goodness. I think it was fine that Incredibles wasn't in Kingdom Hearts 3 since the second film came out around that time. KH3 came out, and the third Incredibles is coming out. That's coming out at some point. I don't think they've given a release date to that third film.
Incredibles would bang,
but
that would be peak.
It would bang. It would fuck even. No, I shouldn't say that. Sorry. This is a family friendly list. The Disney friendly list. We shouldn't say those curse words. I would say it's somewhat likely, teetering on very likely. Since the Pixar stuff, which we've been talking about, is very very up there in terms of, one, cool things to do, and two, just what I guess Disney maybe wants. I don't know. Maybe they want them to focus on more of the original. We don't know what's going on. But I would definitely be on board with an Incredibles world. I would be on board with it, but I just don't know if they want to do it at the end of the day. So I put it in somewhat likely.
WALL-E. I think WALL-E would make a great world, but I actually don't know how.
That would be so sick. I really wanted to gush about this one. I want to put that in maybe very likely. I'll put WALL-E in somewhat, and I'll put in WALL-E in somewhat, and Incredibles in very. WALL-E, I just think that world is freaking incredible. Also the societal commentary. Trash and all that stuff. That's definitely part of it too, but it's not something that can get canceled over. But I just think that the characters are so well written in that movie, even though they don't speak that much, but just with their emotions, you can tell so much. And the Axiom that's a ship that I would love to explore, because the amount of things that they tease as to what is on that ship is really cool. It would be technically, I guess, hallway simulator, but still, I would love to explore it anyways. And just fighting Heartless alongside WALL-E would kind of go hard, and Eve as well, if that's what they want. If they want to start in the middle of the movie with Eve kind of being shut down and trying to get the plant and all that stuff, maybe it would be a little less. But I would love to have her as a party member too. WALL-E world, a WALL-E world would kind of go hard in my opinion.
WALL-E would go hard. I'm not sure about KH4, but if we are guaranteed at least like 2 or 3 more Kingdom Hearts games after 4, let's say 2 more after 4, so let's say like KH4, some random title, KH5.
Yeah.
I think WALL-E will be a world eventually, but I'm gonna say somewhat likely for now. I think Incredibles should be the go-to. But I could see a WALL-E summon, but I think he is likely enough for a world. But I hope he's at least a summon.
Yeah. WALL-E, as they say.
I love WALL-E.
So you mentioned WALL-E, right? So I guess it's my turn. Let's go with Wreck-It Ralph. I'm gonna put that in very likely. Because he was a summon in Kingdom Hearts 3. They did something with that in Kingdom Hearts 3. They had a semi-world in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Did they just have it for cutscenes, or did they actually do gameplay in that world?
It was a full world with the story and everything.
It was a full world. Yeah. And they clearly like that universe and that world, and I think they want to do more with it. And I think with just I'm trying to find the words here. There's clearly some more stuff that they want to do with it, and I think it would be a cool opportunity to explore like a video game aspect. Like maybe you have this be the Tron of this universe, and you'll be able to go into the game somewhat and interact with Wreck-It Ralph and Penelope and all those characters. That would be very very fun. So I would, since they really want to do it and they kind of did it before, I put that in very likely.
Yeah. Only because it has history with Kingdom Hearts already. I still kind of feel weird because I don't know if they're gonna like the Union Cross world was technically like a data world within a data world. Like if you played Union Cross, you know what I mean. Like if you kept up with the story.
Yeah.
So, and Union Cross takes place in the past, but the data world takes place. Whatever. Okay. Union Cross timeline stuff. Look, spoilers. You're in the Kingdom Hearts stream. We're talking about spoilers. What? Huh? Con man? I'm sorry. Anyways, look.
Yeah.
So the Wreck-It Ralph world, I think. I don't know. Okay, I think it can happen for sure. Part of me, because it was in Union Cross as a world already, part of me thinks to myself like maybe Nomura like kind of gets lost in the sauce a little bit and like thinks it was in Union Cross, maybe we won't make it a world. But Union Cross is also
Yeah.
canceled, so you should make it a world. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna keep it in
Yeah.
very likely. He was a summon. Summons. Are there any summons that haven't been worlds aside from like Chicken Little?
Uh, the trying to think back in my data banks here for it. Um, I
Lion King's
don't
been a summon.
think.
Hmm?
Yeah, that was originally supposed to be a summon in Kingdom Hearts 1, but they cut that. Um,
Lion King was a summon in
trying to
Kingdom Hearts
think.
1.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They cut the world. They cut the world. That's right. Um, I was had my wires crossed again. Um,
Bambi, yeah, Bambi and Dumbo, I guess. All right, so Bambi and Dumbo are other ones that
Bambi
weren't.
and Dumbo. Yeah,
Stitch
that's right.
technically did get a world, even if it's
Um,
not the world we wanted.
yeah. Eh, is Lilo and Stitch on this list here? I don't see it.
Honestly, I don't think it's coming, in
But
my
I
opinion.
think they did that. Yeah, I don't. They did that once, and I don't think they want to go back there.
Maybe though, who
Um.
knows?
So, which one do you want to do next?
Um, Coco. So I'm mixed on this world.
Coco. Oh.
Coco, since we're just doing the Pixar worlds, Coco is a extremely popular movie, and honestly, it's one of among Disney and Pixar. This is a top 3, top 5 Disney, Pixar, maybe animated film. Period. Coco is one of the best things ever.
Exit.
Coco being about the land of the dead, being about the land of the dead. It
Mhm.
I think would fit Kingdom Hearts 4's themes potentially, possibly. If they want to go
Mhm.
that route, if they want to have a Coco world in Quadram, technically having a world, a dead world in a dead world, but that'd be crazy. But I think
Yeah.
so I want to put Coco in somewhat likely. I actually think Coco's a little more likely than Wally just because of recency. Like I think like
Mm.
they need to throw in a couple of those like recent worlds to like for like new fans. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
I think Coco's pretty like somewhat likely.
Yeah.
Maybe even
Yeah.
very likely. Maybe even over Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah. I want to see it just for the visuals, man.
Yeah.
That would be very, very sick. But again, Unreal Engine 5 and graphics. Whoo! That would go hard. And the whole story of dying and stuff like that, and go into like the afterlife. It ties into the story of Kingdom Hearts 4. So I think that if they found some weird way to work that in there, that'd be interesting as well. Someone said in the chat that Donald Goofy would be going to the Coco world. Um, I guess. Um, let's see what else someone's saying. Eve would be busted. She would be busted. That she is crazy. As long as it's not the live action Lilo and Stitch, we're good. Be careful what you wish for. So what do I want to talk about next? Well, since it's in my thumbnail, you haven't talked about it yet. Let's talk about Moana. I want to put Moana in very likely. Because that's approaching Frozen levels at this point, isn't it? Moana in terms of popularity and just the cultural
Yes.
impact that it's having.
Yeah.
That's nearing that, and I think that if they want to fill in a slot for like a Port Royal Pirates World, that would be an easily thing to slot in with like a sailing mini game or using kind of an open world to kind of explore the islands there. And that story also is very interesting, and the characters are very well written as well. So the bosses in that world would actually kind of go hard. Fighting that crab at the bottom with the shiny, I would be all on board with that. So Moana, I think it's very likely. That's another thing that would sell a bajillion copies for this game as well. So marketing wise, it'd be very smart for them to do.
I personally think if Moana released like 1 to 2 years earlier, it would have been in KH3.
That's true.
Because of that, I think it's a shoo-in for KH4. Not only because of the Princess of Heart element, but it is the most popular movie after Frozen, pretty much. One of the biggest, most impactful movies in Disney's had in a long time since Frozen again.
Mm-hmm.
Moana, even compared to like Encanto and like other recent films, like I think Moana 2 crossed $1 billion in the box office again as well. Even though I haven't seen Moana 2 and I don't really hear great things about it, but Moana is also one of my favorite Disney movies. Is tied for my favorite Disney movie. My two favorite Disney movies are Moana and a movie we will get to a little bit later. I love Moana. I actually think it's pretty much guaranteed. To give you an idea, pretty much guaranteed. I borderline expect these worlds to be in Kingdom Hearts. Not in the toxic I'll be mad if they're not in. I would be a little like, dang, that sucks that they didn't make it. But like if they're traded in with some good some really good options aside from those three, it'd be okay. But I would be genuinely super shocked if like the top three didn't make it. Very likely for me is like, okay, I wouldn't. I think they're likely. I wouldn't be too surprised if they got him. Like it would. Like I wouldn't be like I'd be happy to see it, like surprised, but I'd be like I wouldn't. It wouldn't be like, oh wow, that's a shot in the dark. Now, obviously, when we get to the bottom, like if any of these no chance movies make it in, I'd be surprised. I'd be like, oh wow, they went for one of those. That's weird.
Speaking of, I want to get rid of some of those, like Oliver and Company. That's not happening. Black Cauldron. That's not happening. That's the only two I kind of want to put there right now. Someone said Hannah Montana World. That would just be funny. And then someone says, someone like, oh, a Disney Channel world in there. I've always wanted to see art of Sora in like the Phineas and Ferb style. That's been on my mind since the new season came out. That would be. Yeah, I just like that show a lot. They would never do it, but hey, something neat to kind of think about. If Lightning McQueen says ka-chow, does Sora say ki-chow?
No.
I'm not going to say anything to that.
I don't think Aladdin has a chance. Maybe as a summon.
No Agrabah this time around.
Nah, I actually would like to see Agrabah personally. Like I'm cool with the Agrabah world.
I say small chance.
It's going to happen. I actually don't think.
I mean, they haven't used Agrabah since days, haven't they? No, Recoded. They've not used Agrabah since Recoded, right? Or was it even in that game?
Agrabah wasn't Recoded. I don't think. I think Up maybe as a summon. Like maybe we get the dog as a summon or something. But I don't know. I'm be real. Okay, chat. I know people love like the first like couple minutes of Up because like the really sad like thing in the beginning, but the rest, I don't think the rest of the movie is that crazy like for a Pixar film. Like I actually think it's one of
I love the hell out of Up, man. That shit rocks.
Hey, I respect it. I think compared to other okay, it would not be a like go-to Pixar film to pick. Okay, maybe small chance. I'll give it small chance. But I do actually think because it's a Pixar film, because it's one of the earlier ones, small chance. Sure.
I don't think we'll see Marvel. If we do, how do you think they'll be said? And I want to see. We kind of said that they kind of go for an original story a little bit. Sora as a portrait sounds dangerous. Don't know what you. Maybe that's a mistyping. Okay. I don't know. Agrabah was in Union Cross. That's right. I forget about the Disney Worlds in Union Cross because we don't talk about that much nowadays.
We did the last one. I did Up, I guess. So
yeah, I guess. What's another one? Hey, well, since we brought up the Cars thing, we haven't done that yet. I haven't done it at least.
Oh no.
Now, if you know some recent developments in Kingdom Hearts land in terms of things we shouldn't have known about because they were leaked. Cars was, I think, supposed to be a world in Kingdom Hearts 3. And they want to do something with it. And it's a popular IP. Car Sora sounds cursed as hell, but maybe they want to do it. So I'm going to put in small chance. I'm putting in small chance. This is where we're going. This is where we're going to disagree, I think. Cars. It would be cringe, but it would be the kind of purest, most fun form of cringe. we got red cars spammed in the chat. How about that? Spam Kerchow in the chat to let me know you love cars so much. So yeah, I'm putting that in small chance. I think that people wouldn't like it necessarily, but I was told some bits about cars in Kingdom Hearts 3. I was told that it wasn't like a full-fledged world or anything like that. It's just something where you stopped by once in a while. It's kind of like a little mini world, like a 100-acre wood or something. So
if you guys keep typing "ka-chow" in my chat, I'm gonna ban you.
I'm sorry, John. I had to.
Bro, I hate cars. I hope you. Look. I am a Pixar Disney fan. I hate Cars. I think Cars is like the worst thing Pixar's ever made. It sucks. I hate Cars. Cars 1 was tolerable for a time. I'm not a Cars fan. I don't like Cars.
I saw Cars 2 once and never again. I don't think I've seen Cars 3.
Cars 2 and 3 are terrible.
Putting my feelings aside from that, they wanted to do it at some point, so I'll put small chance for that.
For those that don't know, Cars was in a data mine for Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, that's it. Cars was in a data mine for KH3, but there wasn't any assets like actually pulled. It was just in the data mines as like they did think about putting this as a world in KH3, and I'm glad they didn't. They saved the franchise.
Little Prodigy, there's a planes. Oh, planes! I forgot about planes. That one.
Planes. I don't want to see Cars Sora. I don't want to see it. That's the main reason I hate Cars. I don't want to see Cars Sora. I swear, bro. If I see Cars Sora, I don't know. Like those of you who like are like in the fandom who've been around for a minute, if you guys saw Avatar Yaya's like reaction to freaking Steve, like when Steve came out in Smash, that will be me. I will walk away from my PC. Bro. I don't know. I'm cooked. That's the only world I actively do not want in Kingdom Hearts. I'll take dinosaurs. I'll take dinosaurs before I take a Cars world. Put dinosaurs in.
I wouldn't want to see it, but it'd be funny, just for a little lol.
Bro, at this point, we're about to ask
don't actually do it.
Just to troll me, like, bro. You want the final boss of the Cars world to be a race? You want to race against someone, bro? You want to race against Lightning McQueen in a boss battle? Heartless infested Lightning McQueen? No, bro, get out of here. What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding. I like it. Okay, Prodigy said he doesn't want to see Cars Sora. Let's all vote for Plain Sora. All right, let me see if I've not done the polls yet. In
I've been trying
here,
to
so let me see if I can do a poll. Engage with your audience. Let's start a poll. Car or Plain Sora? Let's see what our audience wants to see more. Plain Sora.
Yo, can I trust somebody in chat, like who is a frequent viewer, to like be a mod for like a second, so that I can to like make polls? I think mods can make polls. I'm unsure. I actually don't remember.
Someone said an Avatar, or like the James Cameron Avatar. That's a Disney property now. I don't know though.
I'm okay with that as a world, but like, I don't know.
um, Car Sora is winning by a large margin. So I guess moving on from the car stuff, you go up.
All right, so it's me next. All right,
Yep.
all right, Dan, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Excuse me.
I think you. I honestly don't remember. Hold on. Um, I will do that. All right. Okay. My bad, chat. So this is actually one of my most wanted worlds in the Kingdom Hearts game. Like, this is one of my personal picks. Like, I want this world extremely badly, but it's never going to happen. Emperor's New Groove, very small chance.
Oh. Ah.
Yeah, this was one of my
I say
original,
summon.
like when I was like 13, hyping up KH3, like after KH3 like first got announced, I was like, Emperor's New Groove, I want this world so bad. Cause I love like Cusco and Kronk, dog. I think they'd be so funny in Kingdom Hearts. Llama Sora, no, we're not getting Llama Sora, bro. What are you talking about?
They want Sora to transform into animals, and I think our audience is just they're letting us know that there's a secret fetish going on in the Kingdom Hearts community, and it's getting exposed tonight in this chat. For some reason, people want Sora to be anthropomorphic everything. Um, so they want him to be a car. They want him to be a frog. They want him to be a freaking lion. They want him to be people. Kairi and Moana kind of related in some way. People want Kairi to do her own worlds, man. Do you think those will be doing that stuff?
I
In
think
Kingdom Hearts
Kyra
4?
should do her own worlds. I want her to, but it's weird because okay, look, as much as I want, like, okay, I think Kyrie would get some really good character development and like bonding time with the audience
Hmm.
if she was able to visit Disney
Yeah.
World. As much as I want Kyrie to go to Disney World, I also think it's kind of throwing to not put like Sora in a Moana world, or Sora's the flagship character, and he needs to that you need to put your flagship
Hmm.
character in their flagship world. You know what I mean? It's like okay, and instead of
Yeah.
like it's like instead of Mario shaking hands with Sora, it's freaking Marth from Fire Emblem. Like, bro, who cares? Like about you? Okay, I'm not saying who cares, then I wouldn't be hype. Like it still would be hype, but it's like
Hmm.
you know what I mean. It's not as iconic.
Hmm.
Y'all agree with that? Is that
Yeah.
like a good analogy? A little bit.
Yeah. I put it as a summon because I don't know. Oops, sorry. Scrolled away there. I just don't think that they would want to do something like that. Maybe it's just because it's an older property. And they've never done anything with that in Kingdom Hearts. That's correct. No Emperor's New anything. I don't think they have.
Yeah.
So that's why I put it as a summon. So maybe, like it would be a cool summon to have, but I don't know. Next up, this is going to be the heartbreaking one because I think every single person on the planet, wink wink, wants this to be a world in Kingdom Hearts, and I think it's a legal requirement for a Kingdom Hearts YouTuber to make a "I want this world in Kingdom Hearts" video.
Oh, all right,
Treasure Planet,
boring. Yep.
no chance.
No
I
chance. I'm
I
actually so
don't.
surprised to hear you say
I
that.
I think. I just I don't think it would be the most fans if they want to get the biggest dub for Kingdom Hearts like if they want to put like the worst world in Kingdom Hearts ever, like for say Cars, for example, and they want to just put something else in there to get the fans just make it up for the fans. Treasure Planet automatically. I dream of this world. Okay, this thing would be so sick. The aesthetics of this world, the characters in this world, the story, the things that you could do with it. It's amazing. But it was a bomb. It's pretty old at this point. I don't see it happening.
I think Treasure
But
Planet will
logistically,
definitely get a live action remake at some point, but it probably won't do as well. I think
they did try to do it in Dream Drop.
I think Treasure Planet for a number title, like Treasure Planet screams non-number title to me, right? So
Yeah.
I only think Treasure Planet is a somewhat likely world, only because
You're on the opposite spectrum here, right?
everyone has been requesting it for like 10 years. It's the only reason. And I think somewhere along the grapevine, Square saw that, and I think they might throw fans a bone. That might be like they might throw fans a bone only because of how long I've been hearing it. I think it has a chance, but honestly, I'm not even gonna put somewhat likely. I'm gonna put top of small chance. Like it's at the top of small chance. Like this would like Treasure Planet would be like their dream world. That would be like Sora coming to Smash, but like for like Disney fans, I guess.
Yeah. And someone else pointed out in the comments, Ernesto kind of pointed out that Star Wars would kind of fill that role too. It has kind of a similar world kind of basis, like exploring the planets and stuff like that. So it would having that alongside it would be so that's why I don't think it's gonna happen personally. But if they were to ever do it, they were gonna try and do it in Dripped Up Distance. There's evidence for that in the code of that game. They didn't end up doing it though. But I just think it's past its prime a little bit. So I would die of happiness the day that they do it, but I don't think it's this day.
Yeah.
So kind of
so next world. Here. Okay, so we talked about Pixar worlds earlier. I actually think this would be. I don't know like what world they choose first, but I think this is one of the like top 3 most likely Pixar worlds, and it's Inside Out. Inside Out, one of the most successful Pixar movies. Inside Out 2 is one of the most successful Pixar movies ever. One of Disney's most successful movies ever. And it is also Inside Out 1 was also just a great movie. Like straight up. Like the Inside Out's great. I think it's really good. I just don't know how they do it. I don't know the concept. I'll put that I think they will try. Like I think Inside Out representation is going to happen in KH4 one way or another. I just don't know if it will be a world or a summon. But I think it's popular enough to be.
They could do Sora's mind. They could explore his mind. Yeah. And in that kind of sense. And it would be kind of it would be a lot of implications for the lore because they would have to say like, oh yeah, this Inside Out stuff has always existed in Sora's mind. So that would be a weird thing to kind of talk their way out of. But I would say it's very likely. I think they would find an interesting way to do it. If it's not exploring Sora's mind, maybe like Kyrie's or some other main character. I don't think they would go with a Riley. Because it would just be a random person in this world. I don't know. That's just kind of how I see it. So yeah, I put that in very likely as well. Since I've not seen Turning Red, and I think it would be a cool summon, that big panda thing, I'll put it in maybe as a summon.
That's what I think. About
just because I want to see this.
I actually wouldn't mind seeing Turning Red as a world personally, because I actually think Turning Red's a really good movie. But it's a classic family trauma movie from that era of Disney, where Disney had like a straight like 3-4 years where all their plots were about family trauma. They were good movies though. I think that's a good era for Disney.
All I think about when I see Turning Red is the freaking.
Yeah, meme.
The memes about that one.
You
know what memes I'm talking about.
Talking about.
They
hit the didn't mention in Turning Red. It's a terrible
Turning Red. So I guess you're next in that case since I brought that one up.
Oh yeah, I am next. So
yeah.
I want Robin Hood in Kingdom Hearts really bad. Don't think it's going to happen. Putting that in no chance. Putting Rescuers in no chance. I'm just putting some stuff in no chance.
Same. Also here as well. I was thinking about that.
I'm gonna save this world for last. But Raya and the Last Dragon, I don't think has a chance. But I also haven't watched the movie either. But that was one of those straight to Disney Plus films. I haven't
watched that movie either.
I kind of think Raya just doesn't like. It's not popular. It's not popular enough. Not pop. What I mean by that is like I
Mhm.
think niche movie. I don't think Kingdom Hearts only needs to pick popular movies. I don't think that that's like exactly the case. It mostly has, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest, but I don't think it only needs to pick like the most popular of films. I just think
Hmm.
they become increasingly more unlikely as the series goes on because the series is only getting bigger and bigger, and especially
Yeah.
if we are if we're heading into an era where non-number tiles are just going to not exist for the most part, I definitely think like these smaller niche movies, the Treasure Planets, the post-Renaissance films, the Disney Plus era movies, Souls, Reyes, Lucas, I don't think they're getting in. I think it's a hard sell because
Yeah.
like you're at that point you're really
Um,
putting it in for like the niche audience that really likes it or is requesting it. And I don't even think there's that many people requesting it. At least with Treasure Planet, there's a lot like Treasure Planet is like the token underrated Disney film. You know what I mean? Um, like as in it's not popular, right? But a lot like it has a very cult like following that I do think can result in like sales for Kingdom Hearts because like there's a lot of people like it. It's a popular underrated movie. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Um,
I'm just gonna put it in maybe as a summon, because I kind of like the aesthetic. I'm not seeing it either, but the aesthetics are cool. So hey,
do
I
we
mean
do?
that's kind of like it doesn't feel like the Brave kind of same aesthetic as that.
I wanna
With
put
like the
like
force
Rhea
feet.
in like maybe as a summon because I think they'd be a cool. I think it'd be a cool summon potentially. Though I haven't seen the movie, so I'm
Uh-huh.
spitballing. But like, would the dragon be a
Yeah.
summon?
I guess I would. I guess I could see that.
Because we don't have like humanoid summons in
Uh,
Kingdom Hearts. Like really, not often. I don't think. Do we have any humanoid summons in
no.
KH?
Um, humanoid. I guess if you count Ariel as a mermaid. I don't
No,
know if that would
no.
count. Yeah. um, I just put it in there. Maybe a summon. Just 'cause this it would be a cool summon. She has a cool design, the dragon. So I'll put that
um,
there. So you brought up Rhea, right?
yeah.
Uh, so let me go with another Pixar one. I guess this is the last Pixar on the list. Well, no, there's another one right there. Let's go with A Bug's Life. I'll put that in. I'm kind of conflicted on this one too. I don't know if I should put
Well,
it
one of the
as a small
first big
chance or maybe as a
Pixar
summon because
films. It
um,
definitely has a lot of like. It's definitely unique, and I do. I, I'm not a
it's
fan of A Bug's Life, but I think it'd actually be kind of cool as a world a little bit.
yeah. I think it. I'll put it in small chance. Since I mean you don't have to do like a major story kind of like world change for that to work because again, we're still being in the kind of real world here. If you somehow shrunk Sora down, somehow some way you could make it work that way. I think they could make it fit in there, but again, it's a little bit of an older movie. But it is one of those very nostalgic ones, so they could do something with it. And they've not done anything really with it ever since. It came out like back in the 90s. So if Pixar, one of the people at the studio, want to do some more with it and give some input on that, they could absolutely put that in there. I'll put small chance for A
Yeah,
Bug's
I put
Life
small
for me.
chance as well. Um,
Hmm.
all right, so we've been bouncing around this one. Uh, she is a Disney princess. I feel like her popularity's went down over the years, and people aren't that crazy about the movie itself. Pocahontas. What do you think are the chances of Pocahontas?
Um, so they would have to do some time travel bits for that. Or to make that because that's an historical kind of setting, historical fiction. Pocahontas, I, I, I might put it in a no chance. I might put it there.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't
Pocahontas
think
fits
it's
Birth by
never had a.
Sleep. Like it fits a vibe similar to Birth by Sleep. I feel like it fits for KH4. I don't know
Yeah,
why. Like some like
yeah. Birth by Sleep was a based on like the more classic Disney fare, with
yeah.
like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and stuff like that. So, if I guess if they were ever going to do it, they would do it there, but that's
It's not even
not
like
how
that
it ended up.
Pocahontas is old.
Um,
It's just like I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not feeling Pocahontas. You guys too political for them to put in there? I mean, maybe. I don't know.
That is also true. Um, I get, especially with world events being what they are. And yeah, let me read some of the chat here a little bit. Let me end this poll. Car Sora wins definitively. 73% want Car Sora. I could see Lightyear over Toy Story. That movie was no, I don't. They would never do that. I don't think. Tron, yeah, Tron's not on this list, but maybe we can discuss that afterwards. Nomura likes diverse worlds, and I think Rhea stands out. Do you agree with that?
I think Nomura does like diverse worlds for sure. I think he does. Rhea definitely could stand out. I just feel like it wouldn't be his first pick for a world that stands out. Like I think there's a lot of Pixar worlds. There's a lot of like there's Star Wars, Marvel. Like I think there is going to be one.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I do think Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to have one like just X Factor world, like random pick. Well, when I think about it, does Kingdom Hearts 3 have like a big X Factor pick? It's hard to say in retrospect, but like, do you remember during the hype cycle, was there a world you were just really surprised was in the game?
I was kind of surprised that they chose Big Hero 6 kind of like so soon after that movie came out.
That's what I was thinking, because Big Hero 6 was like very recent when that happened, when that got in, right? I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that movie came out in 2015. Right before Moana came out. So they were yeah, so they were in pre-production on that movie when Kingdom Hearts 3 was starting, and so that I guess maybe they were showing them potential movies like, hey, here's this one coming up. You can, because I think Roy Connolly was also a producer on that movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Square Enix did say they get early access to Disney screenings if they want to potentially scout worlds for Kingdom Hearts.
So, but they mostly go with stuff that was already kind of based and already kind of out at that point. I think Big Hero 6 was the newest one in Kingdom Hearts 3. Everything else was kind of already done before. So I think if they were to do, I guess, more recent one, maybe it'd be Rhea. I don't know. It would be definitely a big nod to the fans of that movie, but I don't know if that's a big audience. I think the
X Factor world of KH4 was probably like Tron and Pirates for sure. I don't really think KH1 has a big like this world's like wild to be in. You know what? Maybe I'm okay. Maybe Nomura does like doing interesting things, but actually, the more I think about it, there are some like X Factor worlds in KH, but I actually think they do mostly. Now I'm thinking about it, they do kind of mostly go with mainstream picks. I think Dream Drop has the most like different world list in the franchise. I think is why its worlds stand out the most, because that movie that's
my favorite. That's one of my.
What's up?
That might be my favorite world list in any Kingdom Hearts game. I mean the Symphony, the Fantasia world is just S tier in of itself, man. That thing rocks. So yeah, I think if they want to go diverse, National Treasure, Nicolas Cage at a Kingdom Hearts game, that'd be funny. Pocahontas can make a chance because she's a Disney princess. After all, I say small chance.
Yeah, I shouldn't say no chance, but I'll put in small. I'll put in small because she's a Disney princess. I'll put in small. But I feel like they're gonna go with different Disney princesses.
That was 2014.
I'm gonna do this other one right quick. So, Meet the Robinsons, I actually think could that world. I feel like is something Nomura would like. Like I actually do feel like that's a world Nomura would be into, low key. I think it's.
I'm gonna put that in Summon though. Because I have a lot of nostalgia for that movie. That movie was something that I replayed a lot as a kid. I remember that was like one of the first 3D movies I ever saw. And I have a lot of nostalgia for that movie for that reason. And I remember the playing the DVD over and over and over and over again. And so that the world is very fun to explore as well. I had that game on the PS2 back in the day, Meet the Robinsons on the PS2. that is the Dark Souls of kids games right there. Let me tell you what. Don't get me started. That's a whole nother discussion right there. I have a lot of nostalgia tied to Meet the Robinsons. But I don't know if they would put a full investment into a world for that game. A summon with like a Wilbur or something like that, that would be interesting, and using some of that futuristic tech. But Meet the Robinsons, I think it's an underrated movie. It's not one that's really discussed that much nowadays.
That movie was
So that's why I
spammed
put
on
it
Disney
in summon.
Channel,
But
bro. They
they
spammed that
did. I
movie
don't
on
remember them
Disney
playing
Channel.
that much on that show.
That
They
movie,
did.
I've seen that movie so much because it was spammed. I forcibly watched Meet the Robinsons like 100 times because that junk was on movie channels, Disney channels so freaking much. The more I think about it, the more I'm thinking small chance, but
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna
was.
keep it in somewhat likely. I don't know. I have a weird feeling that this world is like for some reason like in consideration.
Mm.
Go for it.
Also, the enemy, the bad guy in that movie, the bomb guy, the hat guy, prototype Doctor Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah. That world has
Also
meme
putting that out there.
potential. That world has so much internet meme potential, dude.
Yeah. That movie needs a revival, man. That movie really. I mean, there's some aspects of meme culture that have that movie, but it needs some more. It's really great. Next movie. Um, should I say Atlantis? Should we go with that one?
Okay.
Um, I don't know if I should put this in No Chance or maybe as a summon. Because
No chance.
it's in the same
Unfortunately.
ballpark as Treasure Planet. It's they're basically hold the same spot of the 2D Disney movies near the end of their 2D cycle, which so many people love, but just didn't do that well
It was
financially.
actually an early
It
post
would be definitely
Renaissance
be
film.
um, yeah, I think it was 2000, right, when that
It was
movie
like
came out.
I think it was like
2000.
04 or somewhere between 2000 like 1 and like 4, somewhere around there.
When did I know they had a TV show for it, but I don't know if that did well either.
I honestly don't know. Oh, this movie came out
Atlantis.
2001.
Oh, really? Was
Yeah.
Treasure Planet before that?
I think Treasure Planet was
Oh, okay.
after. Treasure Planet was in 2002. So, Atlantis:
Oh,
Lost
okay.
Empire is one
Yeah,
of my
that's right.
favorite Disney movies ever. I think this is a top 3 film for me. I love Atlantis: Lost Empire.
Hmm.
I think this world could have like such vision and scope that would be so enjoyable for a Kingdom Hearts world. The story is genuinely really good. It's a story about this Milo, this young like archaeologist kid like discovering Atlantis, and like he grabs a team and stuff to do it, and like it's just this really cool story. Um, I love that movie to bits and pieces, but I don't think it has a
Hmm.
chance. If it did get into Kingdom Hearts though, I would be ecstatic, like so hype. But I don't think it has a chance. I don't think it does.
Yeah. I uh, I don't. I think I saw the movie like once when I was a kid. But I do remember really, really liking it. And having a lot of fun watching that movie. So, I would. They gave it enough clout to give like a TV show to it. So there's some love to that. Or I no, they did they try to make a TV show and they turned it into like a sequel movie? I can't remember. They did something with the show at least. Um, I would love to see that world, but yeah, just another one that's kind of has no chance. Um, that again, biggest fan service win they would ever get if they put that and Treasure Planet in there. I guess we'll do Monsters Inc. This shows Monsters University here, but Monsters Inc. They told the story that was not really something they could follow up in in another Monsters Inc. world. Do you think they could fail another one? Because I don't think they can. Maybe they bring them solely back as a summon or something like that.
If they do an original
Because
plot,
they.
sure, but I kind of think Monsters Inc.
Uh-huh.
is I kind of don't think it comes back in my opinion. Maybe as a
Yeah.
actually no, maybe as a summon though. I actually do think they could be a summon.
Yeah. That's where I put it as summon. Um, I do. If they would like, if they explored the city of somehow, some way, that would be nice to see. But that was one of my favorite worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. So to see that come back would be a really cool thing to see for me
All right,
personally.
so let's
but,
get these last two out the way.
I
know you're already doing. I know you're doing Jungle Book.
He, I say they wanted to do it in Birth by Sleep. So that was a plan, but they dumped that as well because but that was part of the whole like classic Disney movie aesthetic they were going for, and they did do a live action remake of that, but the aesthetics of that movie were weird. I didn't like the look of that movie personally. So I would maybe no chance. But if they want it, I'll put it in summon since they considered it. And so last but not least, Encanto. This is I've seen clips of this movie, not seen the full movie though.
Encanto is one of the best
Yeah.
movies ever made. I don't care. I will be a shill. I love Encanto so freaking much. It's one of my favorite things on this planet. Came out at a time where I really, really needed to hear a story like this. I have a very deep emotion. This I said earlier, Moana is tied for my favorite movie with another one, and it's Encanto. Moana and Encanto are my two favorite Disney films. Encanto's problems is just a house, nothing much to do. Nah, I don't agree with that fully. I think they could easily do, if they do an original plot line, they could easily do something with exploring the other children's rooms, because their rooms, if you have actually seen the movie, are huge, like vast. Like you could make like you could basically make like dungeons out of each of their rooms. I don't fully know what story they do for Encanto, if I'm being real, but I think there is potential for a story. They could just easily do like some heartless mumbo jumbo, but I would love to see this movie in Kingdom Hearts just because of how much I like the movie itself, and I do think it's pretty likely just because of how popular the movie is. And if Kingdom Hearts 4 came out a lot faster, I would have said it had no chance, because I would have said it was too recent, because the movie came out in 2021. Square Enix could have gotten an early screening of it, right? Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced in 2022, but I think because of how long Kingdom Hearts 4 is taking, I think this world actually has like moved up on the likelihood scale due to its popularity.
Okay.
It's probably one of the more popular Disney movies. Like, even though the movie in the box office did not do that great, it was like one of the first like post-COVID Disney. It was kind of released during the tail end of COVID. Like, we were still in COVID, but not like fully in it. The movie didn't do that good because a lot of people were scared of going to theaters. This movie absolutely blew up on Disney Plus and on the internet as a whole, and has become a kind of a household Disney film as a result.
Go off, man.
Is that what?
I mean, I guess I go off, man. I've never seen this movie, so I guess I need to catch up. I need to see what all the hullabaloo.
I'm not saying you guys will like
I know
as much as me. Just this movie came out at a time when I really needed it. Like, I had two family members who had like just passed away when this movie came out. And the story about like family trauma and like kind of not like how to deal with it, I guess. It's not like necessarily preaching to you how to deal with family trauma, but it's more so like you see it happening. And I feel like, weirdly enough, in Encanto, despite the singing, despite like all the the Disney like circus stuff that's going on, I think this movie honestly tells like a story about that in a pretty like authentic way, like a way that's like applicable to like IRL, I guess. And I like this movie a lot, so I'm not going to take that away. If you don't like the movie, that's fine. But that for me, it hits super hard.
I can see Sora and Mirabel getting along pretty well. Not sure if Coco was that popular. I'd give the edge to Encanto because of the soundtrack. I do know that one song. We don't talk about Bruno. No.
Everyone knows about that song.
Yeah, that was I think that's like the first Disney song to hit like #1 on the charts. That's crazy. That's like the most popular Disney song of like the past 5 years, like the new Let It Go or something like that.
Yeah, probably more than
Between
that, I
Encanto
think.
slash Coco,
Yeah.
it's a coin flip. I don't see them going with two Hispanic worlds. Could they combine them? I don't know.
Combine them,
Do
no.
they share similar aesthetics?
Hmm?
Even though Coco totally makes sense for KH. What about Lilo and Stitch? Lilo and Stitch was not on this list. So yeah, that's the ones that were on this list right here. We kind of, I guess we've completed our tier list. So that was the last one for you two, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, here it is in its full glory. Look at it, and admire it. And maybe some ones I shift around here. I put, I guess, Moana in pretty much guaranteed. I'll put Wreck-It Ralph there too because I feel like that's a high chance to be there. Um, that's the only ones I think I changed. Some other ones that are not on here that I kind of want to discuss as well. Lilo and Stitch is being brought up a lot on the chat. There's some recency bias on that with the live action movie coming out and it being so successful. Even though that movie is an abomination to the original and it's actually kind of like almost offensive, but that's a whole other story that we get into deep spoiler territory with that case. Well, we won't do that here. But we had a world in Birth by Sleep for that. It was all right. Nothing really crazy about it. But if they brought it back some way and bring it back on the island, that would be nice to see. Kind of same with Tron. I mean, they told the story of Tron Legacy. Tron Ares is coming out later this year. I have a feeling that movie is going to be not necessarily bad, but disappointing because of the production troubles with that and its lead star being who he is. I think that's going to be a bit of a controversial movie. So, I mean, that wouldn't count. They would already be making it for Kingdom Hearts 4. And since that the plot of that movie has them bringing the computer elements into the real world. So, that would make sense. But, that doing the plot of that movie, I don't know. Tron, Ares, we'll see how that movie turns out. Is there any other ones that you want to talk about that's not on this list?
Honestly, I think we talked about a lot of things. I do think like a world like Tron does have a right to return in Kingdom Hearts just because of the ending of Dream Drop Distance. And I feel like at some point in this saga, we should get to wrap up that story. Because I don't know if you guys remember at the end of Dream Drop Distance, we got this like cool little cutscene with Tron, like kind of finally remembering who he is a little bit, reaching out for Sora, like after you win the Rensselaer boss battle. I think it'd be really cool to get to finish that, have one final visit to kind of end off like Tron. Also,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's returning worlds we're not fully factoring in here. We don't know how many worlds are going to be in KH4. This list could end up being accurate or it could end up not being accurate. I think the top three, if I had to bet money on like worlds being in KH, my top three I think would be actually. Let me fix one thing. Moana is like. I actually think Moana probably even more likely than Star Wars, even though Star Wars it seems pretty likely right now.
Yeah.
My top three ordered now. Those will be the worlds I bank money on. Also, someone in my chat was talking about Finding Nemo World, and we mentioned it a little bit earlier. I do not want to Finding Nemo World. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not into that. But I don't want it. They could do it. I don't know. It is an iconic Pixar film for sure.
A lot of people are mentioning Elemental in my chat. That's another movie that I haven't seen. Have you seen that movie?
Yes, I
Elemental?
love Elemental. It's a great Pixar film. I actually think it's one of the best Pixar films in freaking years. I know Elio just came out. I haven't seen it yet, but I think Elemental is like it's like a return to form for Pixar after the Disney Plus like films. I didn't even think the Disney Plus films were that bad. I like Soul a lot personally. I think Soul has a really good story, but Elemental was great. I think Elemental would be beautiful in Kingdom Hearts in terms of like world and like vision. That world could be extremely pretty. It'd probably be graphically extremely intensive though. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
With that being said,
Hmm.
if it does, it's like the last world that got picked.
Yeah, I think the audience might be noticing with a lot of the picks I've been saying. Like, if I haven't seen the movie, I kind of choose it based off vibes. Like, oh, the vibe of this is cool. The aesthetics of this are cool. That would be cool to see.
Same.
And like the Unreal Engine 5 or something like that. I guess that'd be another one where it'd be like, oh, that'd be cool to see in Unreal Engine 5. The vibe is cool, but yeah. So yeah, why not Atlantis is just because of how obscure it is, and they maybe them not wanting to do that. Didn't Elio only make like 21 million? Yeah, Elio. That movie was that whole movie is crazy too, because that was supposed to be like a completely different movie at one point.
Honestly, Poison.
They completely rewrote that film.
Poison, Elemental. I'm not gonna say it was like the most unique thing ever. Well, the type of world it was pretty unique, but like I think the world, it's just a good romance story. Like I guess I wasn't expecting just a straight up romance story from Pixar, so that's kind of why like I enjoyed it a lot. Pixar is, something about Pixar that's underrated. Pixar is honestly really good at telling romance stories. Like with Wall-E, Wall-E's kind of a romance story. It's not just a romance, but Wall-E's a little bit of a romance story. Elemental is definitely more of a romance story than Wall-E is. It does a pretty good job at that too. I can't think of any other ones, honestly, but those two, pretty good romances. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm trying to think of anything else that's not here. Tangled was not on here, was it? We didn't talk about that, did we?
Nah, I don't think
Tangled.
Who knows?
Tangled. That's one movie. They did have a show about that. But there's not any other story they could really explore with that. They did the big thing with that in the one world that they did for that. Trying to think of something else. Tarzan, that will never come back. So it's Avatar. It's a cool world, but it's just very boring. It's not a very. It's a big world, but it's a big interesting world, but not interesting in what they do with it. I guess.
A lot
at
of
least in terms, I don't want to see a blue Zora.
Yeah.
I don't want to see blue Sora. That's another thing.
See,
Again, people are wanting just Sora to transform into so many different things, man. What's up with that?
I definitely don't care for blue Sora.
I guess for the especially with the tall blue Sora specifically. The closest we'd get to a Smurf Sora, I guess. Some original worlds that I'd like to see come back. Do you think that library that was shown in the screenshots is Hollow Bastion's library?
No.
Do you believe that's what that is? Oh, that's Scala's library.
It's 100% Scala at Kylum because the Melody of Memory is ending. 100% Scala at Kylum.
And I've seen some people pretty adamant that it was Hollow Bastion's library.
Man,
but
maybe because they didn't play Melody of Memory is ending. If I'm being real with them. I mean, it is a random game ending, so I don't blame them, but
So that I guess that's a lock for that coming back, Scarlet Kylum, and I want them to actually explore Scarlet Kylum, explain what it is, where it came from, why it exists, why it's dig deep into the lore of it. I mean, they were supposed to do that in Missing Link, but yeah, that didn't happen, did it? So they're gonna have to find another way to really kind of explore that. And that was the thing I was most looking forward to in Missing Link, to really kind of dig deep into the lore of that place. But
Kiki in my chat asked, will there be Final Fantasy worlds in Kingdom Hearts 4, or a Final Fantasy world? The issue with Final Fantasy worlds in Kingdom Hearts is that the most popular Final Fantasy like media, at least like so far, is already in Kingdom Hearts in its own like original way. Final Fantasy 15 is kind of to be determined, but we obviously have the Yazora stuff versus 13 stuff going on, so there's that. Final Fantasy 7, the characters in Final Fantasy 7 are from Hollow Bastion and Kingdom Hearts lore. Hollow Bastion is Kingdom Hearts' Midgar. They're from Hollow Bastion in Kingdom Hearts lore. If they decide to change it or do something else with it later, who knows? We're in an alternate reality, so maybe they do an alternate reality Final Fantasy world. Who knows? Final Fantasy 8 characters, also from Hollow Bastion. We already kind of have a hub for like the most popular Final Fantasy characters. Final Fantasy 10, probably the second most popular game after Final Fantasy 7. Those characters are from Destiny Islands. The issue with Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts is if they did a whole Final Fantasy world, the only popular Final Fantasy game they haven't really done yet, like super popular, would probably be like FF9 a little bit, and Final Fantasy
Or
13.
13, yeah, 13 is a iconic. People have their opinions on that game, but I do think the characters are iconic enough in like gaming culture to where they could have their representation like that. And as it's been pointed out many times, including from yours truly, this game seems to include a lot of elements from the canceled versus 13 that existed way back in the day. It was a game that Nomura was directing alongside kind of all the other stuff that was going on with Kingdom Hearts at the time. He was developing that as the side games, quote unquote, were going on. And the non-numbered titles is a better way to say that. And it eventually turned into 15. They really rewrote the entire concept of that game, and eventually Nomura got the boot. And so everything that they've been showing for like Verum Rex, Yzora, the world that they've built there, screams versus 13. I mean, the Yzora ending, both of them show scenes that were in versus 13/15. So it is going to be his outlet to kind of do that. So that's going to be the main focus there, I believe. Really exploring some of the concepts that he wanted to do for that game. You could have the other Final Fantasy characters in there, of course, that's fine. And if they were to do any of them, it'd probably be 13 characters since that was supposed to connect to 13 in some way. So that is what I think they'll do for Final Fantasy stuff in there. It is cool. I mean, Lightning and Aqua share the same voice actor. That's right. Aqua, I think they do share the same voice actress. Excuse me. And so it would be very easy to kind of slot them in there, get some more of those characters going, and just have that connection. There's going to be a lot more connections to Final Fantasy, I think, this time around, but it's going to be, I think, localized to that one thing. That's my opinion on that.
All right. I think we made a pretty good list today, honestly. I think we did good.
Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to think of anything. I mentioned earlier in a post today that I want Traverse Town to come back. I don't know how they would bring that back. Somehow, some way, man. Somehow story-wise, can you bring that back? That would be great. That's the only other one I can think of right now. Disney Islands. Forgot about that too.
To ask, like,
Disney Islands. There was like a poster. Say that again.
I guess that's a good thing to ask in general. Is like original worlds period, and how many worlds do we think are actually going to be in Kingdom Hearts 4? Like the full world list, Disney and original worlds included.
Yeah, I mean, they said it's going to be smaller, the Disney aspect of it. So it's whatever you're thinking from previous games, I guess, just turn it down a notch. I'd say like at least 4 Disney worlds, if not 5, would be the bare minimum that they would do. And like they said, they did the smaller stuff because they can do more with a little bit less with the Unreal Engine 5 and stuff like that. So in that aspect, that's how they could explore that. I don't know how much time we'll be spending in Quadratum specifically. I really hope that I really hope that it's not like they're showing it in the trailer and making a big deal out of it, but we only spend like 5 hours there for some reason. I don't believe that will be the case since they are making a big deal out of it. But I hope they don't pull a fast one on us. So I think it will be like 4 to 5 Disney worlds, a few of the original ones thrown in there, going into the Final Fantasy stuff a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of how I think.
So you think we're gonna get bigger worlds, or like bigger scale worlds because of that? So like
I think so, yes.
I think we're gonna get like I think a good number is gonna be 6 to 8. Like how many worlds did KH3 have? Like in total, like all worlds included. Like we had
like 9.
I think it was 9. Let's see. We could we have Olympus, Toy Box, Olympus, Toy Box, Twilight Town, Tangled,
Arendelle.
Monstropolis, Pirates, San Fran, Keyblade Graveyard, Winnie the Pooh. So we had 10 worlds, and if you want to include like these area worlds, as in they're not on the world map, but things like the Final World, Scarlet Column, then I guess you would have like 12. Um,
Yeah.
but I or Realm of Darkness 13. So I'm thinking the list of like fully dedicated worlds will be like 6 to 8, and all these worlds are going to be large in scope, and with Cardrolum probably taking the bulk of like a decent chunk of like the game and a lot of its cutscenes, maybe even trade with like the Realm of Light,
Yeah.
like the Traverse, not the Traverse Towns, like the Land Departures, the Mysterious Towers, like trade in with those, and then Disney World surrounding that.
There was one that I was wanting to talk about, but man, I'm blanking on it right now. There was one that had a lot to say about. Dang, I forgot. Sorry, audience. It's kind of, it was something Final Fantasy related. I'll think of it later. Um, but yeah, let me kind of read the chat here. Mary Poppins, no. Any KH4 mention of Clive? Clive. If sure, bring Ben Starr back. We always like Ben Starr being in things. Cool guy. Final Fantasy 16 is definitely one of the is one of the 16th better Final Fantasy games. You're so funny. I actually like that game. It's not the best Final Fantasy game ever made, but I still like it. Um, they've been FF13 characters in KH4. Um, 14 is kind of a mix of all of those characters, so yeah. Um, oh yeah, it was Destiny Islands. Destiny Islands was what I was going to talk about. Destiny Islands. There is a poster in Quadratum in Kingdom Hearts 3, the boss battle. There's mods that can let you explore that city. They have a highly detailed version of that thing, which is crazy just for a little boss battle encounter. Um, one of the posters, it shows Destiny Islands as like one of the places you can visit. Um, for that reason, I could see them going back there, maybe in a physical way or maybe like in a VR way. Because I have a theory about Kingdom Hearts 4 and just like Kingdom Hearts in general, is that it is a video game in terms of what we've been playing so far in the Kingdom Hearts series has been a video game that has been controlled by a real life Sora. And him, going using the power of waking and going through all the stuff in Remind, broke him out of the simulation, I guess, or got him back in the real world. And like the final world's a way like you can communicate with people in the outside world. And so maybe Sora is like a character in this popular video game in Quadratum, and you can visit that in VR. That's a very complicated, rushed way of explaining that theory. But yeah, Destiny Islands I think might be back in some way too. That's maybe like a very likely scenario.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think all the original worlds have a decent chance of at least being mentioned. I really do hope like Nomura lets us explore the mainland of Destiny Island like at least one day. I think he will, but it has been a long time,
Oh
man.
yeah,
Like we actually haven't had like a
yeah.
fully playable. There's only like 3 games where there's like a fully playable Destiny Islands, and it's KH1, Chain of Memories, and Recoded. I can't think of anything else. I don't think any other game has
Uh-huh.
a fully playable Destiny Island.
And yeah, yeah. I always thought as a kid that Twilight Town was the one that connected because I didn't. Kingdom Hearts 2 was my first game. And I always saw it as like, oh, they're from Destiny Islands, and I mean they're from Twilight Town, and Destiny Islands is connected to that. I think they wanted to maybe explore it in Kingdom Hearts 2 because some of the early trailers maybe indicated that you could have. But um, maybe they've moved on from needing to explore that nowadays. Um, so yeah, that's Destiny Islands. I do think is a one that would be explored since they have that poster up. Um, uh, I don't think of anything else that can really be discussed. I think I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
What you thinking, Prodigy X CD?
I
Let me get a
think that's a
Bandicam
good
out
place
so I
to
can
end it
take a
off,
screenshot of
honestly.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me get this screenshot here real quick. Boom, bap, bop. Bandicam, best thing a YouTuber can have alongside OBS. So, all right. Again, this is my list right here. You can take a look at it on my screen. You may disagree with this list. You'll definitely disagree with this list. No one's opinion is the same. For the VOD, those who are watching the VOD, I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And yeah, this has been Loki Matt, Prodigy XCD, talking about Kingdom Hearts 4 Worlds. Let's see how well this list ages in the coming year or two, and we could be completely wrong or completely right. Who knows? There'll be some things we get wrong, but I'd love to see what things we do get wrong and right. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. It's been a great stream, been a great chat, reading all what you guys have to say, and yeah.
Yeah. Yo, thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you, Matt's chat, for having me. Make sure you guys subscribe to my boy Matt in the chat. Exclamation point Matt. You guys have probably seen a low-key Matt video before, but if you haven't, he's a amazing Kingdom Hearts content creator, shorts creator, live streamer now too, jack of all trades. So if you guys want, subscribe to him. But with that, everyone, I'm going to head out. Y'all have a good one. I'm about to go to bed because I'm tired of scrap. I'm about to take an early nap again.
Me too.
You guys take care.
All right.
Have a good one. Peace.
See you guys in the next stream. Whatever that's gonna be. Having some plans for that. So yeah. End stream.